Now, it's pretty windy, but I wanted to start off this video by saying that the reason I'm sharing this is because, one, it is a huge part of Oregon history. Two, it's kind of like revisiting some of my history. And three, I really like remembering people that have been long forgotten, because most of these people don't have living relatives anymore. And I'm not stepping on graves, trying to be as respectful as possible. Forgot to bring in flowers, but I'm glad I didn't because I was going to get fake ones and they're not allowed. So I normally don't really do videos like this, and I'm pretty anxious being here and doing it, especially because this isn't necessarily the best part of this city. When I was a kid, in my grade school, there was a cemetery next to the school that I went to. Turns out there's an abandoned elementary or, well, middle school here in Oregon that is next to a couple different cemeteries. Now, this middle school has been abandoned. There are some things in the window, but a part of it is fenced off, and I'm not risking going anywhere near the inside of that. I'm also like 99% sure that where I parked is not a legal parking spot, but it is technically on school grounds, even though it says like no parking fire lane. I think I should be fine. I could see it from here, just in case anything does happen. I could just run up and be like, I'm leaving. But I figured since the school apparently isn't in use anymore, that I could park here. There's still stuff in the windows, so it makes me feel like maybe this is still being used for something, or it was just completely abandoned as is. But the playground itself looks really dilapidated and terrifyingly creepy. And yeah, so let's explore this super tiny cemetery. So this is the cemetery. It is extremely small. The main road is right over there, and you can't really see it from here, but there is a separate cemetery on the opposite side of this street. I am watching where I'm stepping so I don't step on any graves, but let's see if we can find any super interesting graves to highlight and to remember those who have passed here. So we actually have a lot of these in Oregon, where they have the beautiful name of the human, and then we have like the woodsman symbol on here. Sometimes they're just made out of actual like mimicked wood, which is really cool, but this one has a symbol that's a little bit deteriorating at this point. This one I think is really cool. They were born in 1850, died in the early 1900s. So this is a much older grave, and as you can see, it has like I want to say lilies on there, which if I remember correctly, do not quote me on this, it's been a minute since I've done my tomb research, but grave research, but I'm pretty sure that those are to represent peace in passing and in the afterlife and just the beauty of the person. But I really like their last name, Irian? Not a name you hear anymore. Very cool. As I was coming up to this one, there's a random hole in here and a SOS Christina on it. So that's really sketchy, and I'm not gonna go anywhere near that, but that's cool. Also, the sign at the front said no candles, and there is clearly a candle that was placed here. So again, right next to the really sketchy not terrifying at all. Turns out the grave that was next to that sketchy hole is actually oh god, I want to say, because I recognize that as Japanese, but I really can't guarantee it is, because these symbols don't look Japanese. It could be Chinese. If you guys know, let me know. If you guys can translate this, please let me know, because I would love to know what it says and honor and respect them accordingly. But it's really cute. It's really old, and I'm really happy to see that actual repairs have been done to it as well. Here's something I wasn't expecting to see. So they said on the signs no artificial flowers, but I think this one gets a pass because this is Alexander Beer's grave. He obviously, as you can see right here, is the founder of Seattle Pacific College, which is amazing. And this quote is honestly really something to remember. It's really cool, and I'm so glad that I found this grave. It's really nice to see an actual piece of history like this just next to a school too. It's amazing the legacy that they left behind. Now this one is super cool. There's like a pile of wood here, and they were born in 1850. The grave still looks in immaculate condition, and apparently their name was Stoker. Kind of reminds me of Bram Stoker, so I like it. It also has this beautiful at-rest sign on it with this amazing top piece. This is one of the most beautiful pieces in this entire cemetery, and it also has the name of other relatives strewn around it. Very, very gorgeous. Can we just take a moment to appreciate these trees? That is something that I do not see in a lot of cemeteries that I've been in, at least in places like California. But Oregon has these gorgeous trees. Guys, when I die, someone better bury me under a tree. I swear to God. Also, I found a couple of really interesting things buried in the ground. This looks like it is some kind of important rock, but I kind of don't want to dislodge it just in case. But it definitely looks like it has a purpose. This one's dark on that side. Kind of interesting. And the other one was a can of peanut butter. Super old can of peanut butter. And yeah, that's all for the cemetery. It's super cute, it's super small, next to an abandoned school, which is kind of spooky. I can't show too many of the actual graves here because some of them are newer buried and that wouldn't be right to the family members who are still alive. I just want to recognize the history that's here and the people that maybe have been forgotten over time so that you guys can remember them. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I know it's really small and silly, but I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. Love you guys.